some adjusting here so that you can see me before I go on Facebook Live. Okay. This is the thing is I don't like crouching down. Okay. Let me take my mask off and go live on Facebook. Okay, we should be all set here now. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, Facebook Live, and hello, YouTube Live. I am Miss Ashley, and we are here for another Steam Team Tuesday. This is our second to last one for this quarter, and we're going to do some more new stuff next month. This week, we are going to be doing a milk and cookies experiment. So, YouTube Live can see, but you guys on Facebook can't quite see. So I'm going to lift some stuff up here. I have 4 just like little plastic cups. Mine are just translucent, so you guys at home can see what we are doing. I have some milk here. Mine is non-dairy, so if you have non-dairy milk at home, you can still do this experiment with us. I have some vanilla wafers. These are actually mini vanilla wafers. I have some mini Chips Ahoy. I have mini Oreos. And I have some mini Nutter Butters. Okay, so we have to first of all open up all of our cookies. We're going to be talking about sinking or floating again today. And we're going to, observe our cookies and see what is similar, what is different between them all. We're going to predict which ones we think are going to sink or float in our milk. And we are going to see maybe which one is the quickest sinker and which one takes the longest to sink in our milk. And we might be surprised here. I just washed my hands, so make sure you start off with some clean hands before we start this experiment. So now that I have all my cookies opened up, I'm just going to place my cookies right behind one of these things of milk, because I want to make sure I remember which one's which. Okay. Now we just have to pour, this one's the full one. We have to pour some milk in here. So we don't need a ton, but we do need enough that our cookie will be able to sink if we need to. It looks like I need to do just a tad adjusting here on Facebook. All right, now we can see equally. Perfect. Oh, I forgot to shake this one up. Should do that really quick. Make sure they're all equal. Oh, that one doesn't have quite as much milk as the other one, so I'm just going to do a bit of pouring in just to make them just a bit more even. They don't have to be really that even, but it's just so that I make sure I have enough milk to see if my cookies will sink or float. So I really just have about this much milk in my cups. Oh, goodness. Okay. We have, let's start with our mini vanilla wafers. So we're going to do what we said is some observing first. So we're going to notice that our cookie is tan. It's pretty light, and there's a little bit of crumbles that come off when I touch it. And we're going to see if we can see some air pockets in here too before we put it in our milk. So I don't really see a ton of air pockets. This cookie on the bottom has a bit of a hole, so I guess you could call that an air pocket, but I don't think that, oh, you know what? It might be typical because I'm pulling out another one, and this one has a few more. They're a little smaller, but this one also has some spots on it. I'm just going to put that one to the side. So we're going to put our mini vanilla wafer in, and we're going to see if it sinks or floats. What do you guys think before we put our cookie in? I think it's going to float because it feels pretty light. So we're just going to put it right on the top of our milk. We're going to see if it floats. It does look like it's floating. All right, same thing with our Chips Ahoy, mini Chips Ahoy. This one is smaller in width and it's heavier. This one has chocolate chips. The other one did not have chocolate chips. So I wonder if that's going to make it a bit heavier. Ooh. Our vanilla wafer is starting to sink just a little bit. Can you see the milk is starting to absorb in the cookie? And it's just melting, or not melting. It's starting to sink just a little bit. I'm going to put the Chips Ahoy in. And what do you think? Do you think it's going to sink or float? I think this one's going to sink. Oh, it's actually floating. It did a little bob in the water. Not in the water, in the milk. But it came back up and it is floating a bit. All right, now we have our mini Oreo. So this one's a bit different than the other two. First of all, it is pretty like a dark brown or a black. And this one is two thin cookies sandwiched together with a little bit of filling in the inside. And it's lighter than the Chips Ahoy. But it's heavier than the vanilla wafer. So I'm curious to see, maybe the filling might make it a bit heavier and that might cause it to sink. Let's see. That one's floating. I see some air bubbles coming up out of that one. I didn't mention we didn't see any air pockets in that one. I didn't see any air pockets. All right, now we have our mini Nutter Butter. And this one has got a lot of grooves in it because that's how they made the cookie. This one, like the Oreo, mini Oreo, is two thinner cookies sandwiched together with a little bit of filling. This one, you know what? Does it feel heavier? I think this Nutter Butter is a bit heavier than the mini Oreo. So I wonder, I feel like this one I think is definitely our heaviest cookie. So I wonder if this one will sink or float. Well, this one did a half a bob, kind of like the Chips Ahoy, the mini Chips Ahoy. It did a little bit of a bob in the milk, but it still came up and it is still floating. This one, I see big air bubbles coming up out of it. And this one, again, I don't see any air pockets. So I wonder if that has a difference. So I don't know if we're going to be able to see any of them sink on camera because I think it's been a couple minutes already and I haven't seen any of them sink yet. Ooh. Although when I look up close, I do see that the milk is really starting to soak in here on our mini Chips Ahoy cookie. And it looks like this one might start sinking first. So I'm going to try to get down at eye level with them and see. The top of the mini Oreo looks the driest. And our mini vanilla wafer looks like it is also pretty dry, but it looks like on the edges, the milk is starting to be absorbed. I wonder if this would work any differently if I had used a dairy milk instead of an almond milk. I wonder if that has anything to do with how absorbent the cookies are. All right, if you guys try this at home, because I don't think any of these cookies are going to sync on camera, so I might have to time it and see how long it takes before they sync. But if you guys try this at home, let me know which cookie sank, which cookies you tried it with, and if you tried it with a dairy milk, if that made any difference for you, and which of your cookies sank first, if you had a different variety of cookies. You don't have to use the cookies I used here. If you have maybe mom, dad, grandma, or a grown-up you love made some cookies, maybe you can try it with one of those. I would just love to see your thoughts, and I hope you try this experiment at home. And I will see you in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we're going to make grape sculptures. I hope you're ready. Bye, everyone.